What's up, Ravens fans? It's time to hear from you guys in our weekly mailbag segment, and I'll just start off by addressing the elephant in the room. Mink and I, no, we did not plan this. We don't call each other in the morning and make sure that we're going to dress the exact same, but that's what happened.
I called you didn't pick up, but today we are twinsies!
Yeah. This is the dog days of training camp right now. All right, so let's just jump into the questions. Enough about our outfits. Our first question today is from our guy Nathaniel, who was out of practice this week. Actually, and the question, Ryan, is who's going to be the starting running back?
If I'm a betting man, I'm going to put my money on Justin Forsett week 1. Head coach John Harbaugh just said this week that he sees Justin Forsett playing at a Pro Bowl level. Well, he said he looks like the guy he was 2 years ago, and that's when he went to the Pro Bowl. So that's a really good sign of how good a camp Justin Forsett's having. With that said, I wouldn't say that's set in stone, and I also wouldn't say that it's going to be Justin's job the entire year. I think he's going to get pushed by a lot of talented running backs in this stable right now. Terrence West, to my eye in practice, has been the most impressive running back the Ravens have. Very good feet, very quick. He's dropped some pounds. This guy can do it all. And Buck Allen, last year he proved that he can step in and be the starter. So I think this is probably the best competition in training camp, and it's only heating up.
I just want to ask you this, though, because a lot of times during training camp we get all excited about who looks good in practice. You know, every year there's a media darling every single year. You know who I never saw make a play in training camp? Ray Lewis. I don't think he made a single play in training camp. And so sometimes I wonder, and I want to ask you, do we put too much stock into the practice?
I think sometimes yes, and you say he looks good, and the next media guy says he looks good, and it starts to kind of snowball and become truth. But with that said, I think that's why these preseason games really matter. I think this running back competition is so close that whoever separates from the pack during the preseason, if Terrence West comes out and just runs like his hair's on fire, then I think he could win the job. And same goes for Buck Allen. Same goes maybe for the rookie Kenneth Dixon. I think that he could become an impact player. These preseason games are going to matter for the running backs.
All right, another hot competition is at wide receiver, and that's where we'll go with this next question. The question is from Carl Max Million Odd, and the question is, with Campanaro's injury bug, do you see the team moving on or waiting on him to be the player we know he can be? My expectation is that Michael Campanaro is going to be on the team. And this latest strain that sidelined him recently, it's frustrating. But the reason I still think he's going to be on this team is just listen to what John Harbaugh said earlier this week. He said, I love Michael Campanaro. Basically, I want him to be out there. He wants to be out there. I want him to earn this job. And I think that the Ravens have high expectations for what he can do in this offense. And it doesn't sound like, and you never really know with these injuries, but it doesn't sound like this is going to be an injury that keeps him out for the entire summer or anything like that. You hope he can get through it. What I think is going to be the barometer is, where's he at the end of training camp? Where is he? Does he play in the second or third or fourth preseason game? Because if he doesn't, then we might be having a different conversation.
Yeah, I would agree. I think with the Ravens' quick pass offense, Michael Campanaro is the perfect guy in this. He's kind of the Wes Welker, Julian Edelman kind of player.
But he's got to be on the field to do that.
Exactly. You got to get on the field. Our last question comes from Scott Lamb, and Scott says, I love Kyle Juszczyk, but what's his role in this year's offense? I think the Ravens will find a role for him in this offense, not only as a lead blocker, which they still use a fullback in their running game, unlike some other teams.
Yeah, we're not the Saints here 5 wide all the time.
Exactly, but they're also going to find a place for him as a pass catcher, even though they have so many tight ends, so many wide receivers. Juszczyk will maybe get, I'm not saying he's going to get 10 targets. He might get 3 to 5.
You know what one of them's going to be?
First play of the game and the first one of the half. So you absolutely have to have a role for him.
Play action in the flat.
You have to have a role for him because who else is catching the first ball?
Right, exactly.
So yeah, I think Kyle Juszczyk, they'll find something because he's a Swiss Army knife, and that will be Mark Trestman's job, is to get creative with him and get him the ball.
Well, we'll find out if the first play of the preseason is that pass to Juszczyk in the flat. Thursday night against the Panthers at M&T Bank Stadium. We got a pregame show on WBAL. The game is on BAL as well as the postgame show. So lots of excitement this week. Thanks for the questions. Keep them coming and enjoy the game on Thursday.